What's up, everybody? Nick Finzer here, and today I'm really excited because we're going to walk through all of what became Get Ready. Get Ready is a focused daily trombone routine designed to take you from not warmed up to warmed up, but working on a variety of things. We're going to touch on sound, we're going to touch on flexibility, we're going to touch on range, and we're going to talk about articulation, all wrapped up in a 20-minute or less session. This video is going to be the full run through with explanation, so it's going to be longer than 20 minutes because I'm going to explain everything as we go. Hopefully hit on all the main things that are going to help us get ready to play for the day, for a gig, and these are all the categories that I like to hit. I've said in the book that this is just a collection of exercises. This is not the end-all be-all of trombone warm-ups. This is just a bunch of exercises that I've put together that really work well for me in a sequence to get ready to play for the day. So I'm going to focus on sound, articulation, flexibility, and range, and getting all those things ready to go. Number one, a really long tone. This exercise is really going to force you to play a long tone. We talk about playing long tones all the time. There's a million long tone exercises out there in the world. I don't need to send you another one, except for this, I suggest just playing this one long note. The track's about 2.5 minutes long, and that's really just starting to warm up, just starting to get the sound flowing, starting to get things rolling. And sometimes we never play long tones for long enough. So that's what this exercise is for. We're really going to play a nice long tone. Now I challenge you to take breaths wherever you need. Try to do it in as few breaths as you can. Take quick breaths, just sneak back in when you need to. And then as you continue and progress with the exercise, I want you to then focus on listening more to adjust your intonation as that F becomes different parts of the chord. So the first half of the exercise is note versus note. We're just tuning against a bass note, and then it's a part of chords. And you can look at the chord symbols in the book if you want to know where in the chord that F is sitting as it moves around. So I challenge you to try to tune that F accordingly. Play this one at mezzo forte at a speaking volume so you don't get too tired. We're just trying to get the blood moving and flowing. Number two, out from the middle. So with out from the middle, what we're doing is taking that F and we're stretching it in both directions. This is what I like to do. I like to work outward from that warm-up point that I had. So I had that point of reference with the F. We played it for a long time, and now we're going to go out from the middle. So we play it down the slide and back up the slide. Try to think about this as a long tone exercise as well. It's a long tone with motion. In the book, I've marked it to have a slur over all of them, and I want you to think of each series of these as one long tone. So we have 2 measures plus a measure. We have 3 measures in a row, that's 1. 3 measures in a row, that's 2. All of those are long tones. Make sure you're pushing yourself to try to think about these as long tones and to play them as each one with as much connectivity as you can. Again, this should be at a mezzo forte speaking volume, not too much energy, not too much volume on these. Stay nice and relaxed. Number 3, pitch bends are your friend. So pitch bends really are your friend. They're one of my favorite ways to get warmed up quickly, number 1, and to work on centering and opening up the sound. If you can play around the note, it's even more easy for you to focus and develop the middle of the note. So this is helping us to go below the note, above the note, and right in the middle. So it helps us to find that center. So I challenge you, as you go through this exercise, we're at first just matching, right? We go B flat, A flat, and then we B flat, bend to the A flat. So the first part of this is just trying to match the pitches together and to make sure that we can do them in all of the registers. We have the low B flat partial, the middle F partial, and the high B flat partial. The reason why it's a half step up there is because it's way harder to bend in that top partial. It's easier under the staff to bend, right? But trying to get that control and that bend in the upper register can be a little bit challenging. So that's why we're going to start with a half step up there. So go all the way down through this exercise, and then it's related to the one that comes after. Try to do each partial, each 3 measures in one breath. Take a breath and try to not to disconnect them. Ba, do, da, o, ah. Right? So each one is its own unit. Take a breath and try to keep it all nice and connected, while making sure that the intonation on that bent note is exactly as good as it was when you were just using your slide regularly. Number 4, pitch bends and false tones. So this is taking that idea of pitch bends to the next level. Right here, what we're doing is we're playing in each key down chromatically. We go 5, 6, 5, bend down to 4, and then we go 5, 3, 1. Just this little pattern, this flow pattern, including that bent note in the middle. So now we're trying to think of this as a long tone, as a flexibility, and the pitch bend. And so we go down, go down, we go down. Once we get to low E, then we start needing to use our pitch bends below the staff to get those low notes. So try to hear the note in your head before you play it. Make sure you're in the right position. You can use, for like E flat, for D, D flat, you can use a flat version of that position, that regular position, or you can challenge yourself to do them all in 7th position, because you can do them both ways. And so I recorded it doing it both ways, so you can check out and practice it both ways. So 7th position for the alternates, and also using flat 3rd for the E flat, flat 4th for the D, flat 5th for the D flat, and then you're kind of already at the end of the slide for those last ones. And I challenge you to go all the way until you can pitch bend down to that pedal B flat, not in 1st position, but all the way out in 7th. So we're bending down. Again, don't play these too loud. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, that's all we need. Now we're moving on from long tones, flexibilities, pitch bends, into the area of articulation. So with articulation, we need to talk about the 3 extremes of articulation. In jazz, the way I like to think about it is having on one hand our staccato, all separated. On the other hand is our legato, our Rochu type do 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 do, right? But when we play jazz, we kind of meet in the middle. When you think of a great jazz soloist like J.J. Johnson, super clear, separated, connected, but not legato, right? So I'd borrow this from my teacher, Steve Turre. We call that staccato. It has the front and end of a staccato note, but it has the body of the legato note. So just practice those separately first. Da, 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 and then legato, da, 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 and then staccato's in the middle. Da, 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 da. You hear how it has length to the middle of the note, but it still has a clear beginning and end to the note. So I encourage you to practice that first before we try to apply that staccato approach to these next exercises. Number 5, wake up. So this one is just designed to get your tongue moving. Right? So if you can't move your tongue that fast yet, you need to practice it slower, right? The goal is to be able to do it in one breath, but if you need to breathe, breathe. Now, just check out that there's a little bit of extra on the second line of each pair of lines that go together by position. I did it to make it even longer, just a little bit longer by one measure, so that one, you don't get into a pattern of just the same thing on each one. You're actually staying focused and thinking about this exercise all the way through it. If this is too fast for you, you might need to do it with a metronome for a while until you can get it up to speed. Again, not too loud. Mezzo forte, speaking volume is all we have to do here. Number 6, push the limit. So this one is going to challenge you with range, and it's going to challenge you with articulation. We're going to again use that staccato. We're going to think mezzo forte, speaking volume, and we're going to go chromatically up. If you don't know all of your major scales, this is going to present you a problem straight away. So you got to make sure that you know all your major scales first before you attempt this. And it's also not super slow. It's not super fast, but all single tongue. We're trying to get that single tongue nice and clean, just like on the last exercise. This is not a double tongue exercise. This is a single tongue exercise at this tempo. So maybe you need to start slower, use the metronome until you can get up to the speed of the play along. And this is a real test of endurance going through this whole exercise. And it's also going to keep you on your toes because it doesn't go up in half steps every single time. So make sure you're following along on the sheet in the book, or you're using your ears and adjusting accordingly. So as we go up, it's important to connect the register together. So that's why we're moving all the way into the upper register. So try to keep the same setting in your chops as you go. It's going to adjust a little bit as you ascend through the registers, but strive to connect those things together. And it's not slurred, it's tongued, it's all staccato. Okay, so now we're probably a little bit tired. We're gonna move into a pedal note section, just a little bit. We have to work in extremes. We worked up high, now we need to go down low. I always wanna practice in opposites. So this is number 7, pedal note fun. This is just a flexibility exercise that hits down and goes back up and then eventually lands on that pedal note as we go all the way through our positions. Mezzo forte, try to do each one in one breath. And don't be discouraged as you get lower that it takes more air. You have more tubing to fill, so you're gonna have to push more air, and it's gonna maybe take you a little while to develop the F and the E for sure. I know for me that those are the least developed of the pedal notes that I can play. Number 8, pedal note fun 2. So this one is combining a little bit of articulation work in that pedal register. So we're just trying to hit each one right on and make sure that it's full. Again, as we get out into the lower positions, you're gonna have to push more air, and you're gonna have to realize that it's gonna take a while to develop those lower notes, especially on a smaller tenor. And for me, I'm still in the process of developing those. And this is just a great way to touch down there, to get the tongue moving, to get things moving really quickly in that pedal register. So if you've never practiced these pedal notes before, it's gonna be a real challenge. moving on from pedal notes, this is our very last section. We're back to flexibility, but maybe flexibility like you've never played it before. So we have first flexibility with fourths. So this is track number 9, and it's flexibility with fourths number 1. So what this is you want to think about this exercise just like you would a normal flexibility all in one position, but we're moving through the positions. You can make sure that those are nice and connected, and move the slide really fast, and make sure you're thinking about trying to do it in one breath all the way up and all the way down. If you'll notice, like the first one starting on B flat is in the key of G flat. So as you go down, you're starting on the 3rd. So if you want to think about what key you're in for each one, it's diatonic, starting in G flat, going down in half steps. So when we start on B flat, we're on G flat. When we start on A, you're in F. When you're on G sharp, you're in E, etc. Flexibility with fourths number 2. This is track number 10, and this is the ascending version. You can go all the way down, obviously, you can come back up, and then you can keep on going even past what's written in the book. We end on C major. You can keep going D flat, D, and just use that pattern to inform how you're going to arrange the notes of this flexibility. So it's just up in fourths, and it's going to end up being, if you start in F sharp in 5th position, you're going to be in D major. Then you'll be in E flat. And see if you can push yourself even beyond what's written here. Again, mezzo forte, speaking volume, strive for connectivity, and doing it all in one breath. And last but not least, we have flexibility with fifths. It's very similar to the 4th exercise, except stretching you even a little more. Flexibility with fifths number 1 is track 11. And here, just only fifths, right? And if you think about it, we're in B flat, just with no scale degree number 7. And you can go down in half steps. You're kind of in that key for each one. So again, make sure we think about this as a long tone with motion, even though we're creating a wide range here. And then we go all the way down in number 1. And for number 2, we come just back up to where we started and go ascending in the other direction, just like we did with the fourths. So keep it all smooth, fast slide. Strive to be really accurate with your intonation. right, that's it. That's the whole exercise, Get Ready. Hopefully you've gone all the way through. It challenged you a little bit. It warmed you up and you got ready for the day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the exercises. If you want to get a PDF of these exercises or the hard copy, check out the links below and you'll be able to buy that directly from my store, from Amazon, wherever you want to get them from. If you liked this warm-up routine, tag a friend who needs to check it out. I hope you enjoyed yourself and we'll see you back here in another video.